Some of the many mental disorders that both people young and old suffer from on a daily basis, and it's not easy. There's very many different disorders that people have, and there's different experiences that people go through, and it's a really tough time. And I decided to talk about the experience both as point of view of someone who has some of these mental disorders, and from someone who's watched someone go through them and experienced firsthand just how hard it is to cope with. Going through something like this is far from easy. It's very, very, very far from easy, and a lot of these disorders can be worsened by people, and I've seen a lot of that on Twitter, where you have people having a go at people and you have people not really listening to each other. And just in day-to-day life as well, certain things can make them a lot harder for the person to actually go through, and people don't actually think before they say stuff sometimes, which is really quite hard to sit and watch, and you understand how the person feels and what they're going through, so that's really, really hard. The smallest comment or the smallest sly remark, even if you think they didn't hear, they probably still did, and they probably go home at the end of the day and they probably think about that, and that can have a really, really big effect on some people, and I know myself that it does. And to see people do that to others, it's really quite sad. You see a lot of people and they seem to think that they'd notice if someone has issues like this, but all the time you don't. Most of the time there'll be people walking around, normal people, as you do, going on with your day-to-day life, and at the bottom of it, the person might actually be hiding something really, really dark and really, really, I don't know how to talk about, that they've kept to themselves, because you don't exactly want to be walking around with a big green banner and tell everyone about it. It's something you kind of keep to yourself, or your close friends will know about it. And to walk around and expect that these people are just, they're not going through these hard times is wrong, because you don't know. So the slightest remark that you make to someone could actually affect them in a really, really bad way. Someone you think is really, really happy might not be. Someone you think is quite confident, they might not be. It might just be the way you perceive them, and there might be underlying issues where they're just not. And the smallest thing you say to them, that could send them spiraling, and it can really have a really, really negative effect on them, to the point where sometimes the results are quite disastrous. Mental health disorders, and especially things like anxiety, are talked about a lot of the time in media these days, and sometimes they're over talked about, and they're kind of like, I don't know what the word is, but they're kind of like dressed up to be something, and it's not a nice thing to have. It's the complete opposite of that. It's not a nice thing to have. It's not something you want to have. It's something that's really, really hard to cope with, and honestly it affects your life day to day, and sometimes it can completely ruin your life. So to see something as major and something as serious as that sort of dressed up to be something that's kind of, I don't know what the word is. Almost made into like a fashion when it's not, that's what I'm trying to say, is really, really sad, because for the person who's actually going through this, it's not like that at all. It's a really dark place, and it's a really dark time, and it can affect you really, really badly without having any warning. It can just happen, and at times where you don't want it to. So to see the media perceive it in that way sometimes is quite sad, to just sit and watch and let it go on. I myself am a sufferer of some of these disorders like anxiety and post-traumatic stress because of the accident that I had, which wasn't my fault at all, and left me with quite serious problems because of it, and I had to go through counselling and stuff, and it's a really, really hard time, so I understand how people feel when they're going through it. And I've also sat and watched friends and family members go through hard times and go through things such as depression, to the point where it can drive them to suicidal thoughts. So that's really, really hard to stomach, and know that you're going through hard times yourself, and there's someone out there close to you who's also going through it, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, and there's nothing you can do to help. It's really frustrating and almost devastating in a way. I myself had days where I'd wake up and I'd just be so angry at the world around me, and I just felt like I couldn't do it anymore. You just kind of wanted to give up, and yeah, you did have suicidal thoughts, I'm not going to say that you didn't, and it was really, really hard to watch parents go through that and wonder what's going to happen. And with their support and with the support of my friends, you kind of manage to get through it, and you I don't know the support there is a lot easier than going through it alone, and better days do come out at the end. Now I see a lot of people, I don't know if you'd call it bullying, but it's sort of like sly remarks that they say. Like, you'll be walking around or you'll be in a situation and you'll hear someone say something and they'll make a comment about someone's size or something. You don't know, maybe that girl has problems with things at home, maybe she's got self-confidence issues and you just made them a hell of a lot more worse. You don't know, she could be suicidal, and something you said you might not think is a major thing and you might not have thought about it when you said it, but obviously it is bad, and you don't know, she could go home and that could be the last time she was seen because of these thoughts, and they might have just taken hold of it because something you said. Someone with anxiety, you might wonder why they're crying in a public place, and you might think, oh, why are they doing that? But it's hard, it's not easy, it's normal, so you could say that to them, and at the end of the day they're having a hard time struggling. So no, they shouldn't have to think about other people, they should have to think about themselves. Or you could you hear people talking about someone and they might say they're too skinny. Well, maybe that person has an eating disorder, you don't know. Or they say that person is like in a mood, or that person's saying this and saying that. Maybe they've got a personality disorder, maybe they've got a mood disorder. And you hear people and they're not very sociable, and you hear people say stuff about that. You don't know, maybe that person's depressed, maybe everything you say is going to make them worse. You don't know when the last time you're going to see someone is. So you kind of have to treasure each day, and if you see someone saying stuff like that to somebody else, if you can, try to stop it, because that can have a really bad effect on someone with one of these disorders, and they could go home and that could be the last time that their parents or loved ones see them because of a small comment that somebody else has made. Now, I'm not saying that every day is bad and every day is dull, because it's not. If you've got people that are there for you and support you, then you can do this, you can get through it, you can be strong, and there is counselling available and there are things you can do, and just the help and support of your friends makes a big difference. And I've seen that, and I've seen how that can change the way you feel, because that has myself from the support of my friends and family, and supporting other people who have these issues as well. You see that it makes a really positive effect. I guess all I'm trying to say is take a big look at the world and take the bigger picture, and keep an eye on people who you think, I don't know, there might be some people who are quite quiet and who are, I don't know, keep to themselves. That's not a bad thing, but in some cases it might be. But if you know someone who's struggling, be there for them and help them, and don't give up on them, because the second you give up on them, they might give up on themselves. And the more you fight with them and against what, I don't know, they're kind of going through, the stronger they will get and the stronger they will become. And it's amazing to see what that can do. To anyone out there who's struggling with these sort of issues, and to still be here and still fighting, you are incredibly strong and you are incredibly amazing, and good days will come, and we're all here for you, and we're all in this together, and you can do it. I believe in you all. You can do it, you can get through this, and with the support of others, brighter days will come, and I promise you it'll get better, it will. And I don't quite know what else I was trying to say. I just want to say to everybody out there who's suffering as well, that it can get better, and just to hang on in there, and don't let it take over you. I know that's hard to say, but you can fight this, you can be stronger than it, and I don't know, you will come out at the end on top, I guess. This was a little bit more of a sad and a little bit more of an emotional vlog, but it was an issue that's kind of close to my heart, so I felt like I wanted to talk about it because I've seen a lot of it at the minute. So I hope you guys liked the vlog. If you did, give it a thumbs up and share it with everybody. I hope you guys get to see it. And if there's anybody out there who is struggling, you know where I am. I'm always here to talk, and to all my friends and family, I love you lots, and everyone who's going through it that I know personally, you are incredible and you are so strong, and I'm so proud of you all. And I guess that's all I have to say. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do, and hopefully the next video will be a little bit more happier. But these vlogs are supposed to be real, and that is a real issue that is close to my heart, so I decided to talk about it. But anyways, I hope you liked the video, and that's all for me. So until next time, it's bye guys.